Today we are starting our first ever podcast. We have been doing some filming for quite a while now, interviewing people, and we realised that maybe we should be doing podcasts with them so people could listen as they're doing their jobs around the house and trying to help people understand autism a lot better. And what better than to include people who are autistic within the work that we're doing, and with some family, parents and carers as well. So today we're starting off with our first ever talking about Christmas. Really sorry that it's still early on in the year, but we do know that for autistic children, they can find it really difficult on Christmas Day, and for families even more difficult because it's totally out of the blue, where they're getting unexpected reactions to things that are going on that day. So today we have some people here with us who are going to be having a chat about all different parts of Christmas Day. So we're going to start off by introducing ourselves. So my name's Heather. I work for Autism Bedfordshire, and I'm going to pass you over to
Rebecca. I'm Rebecca. I work for Autism Bedfordshire for the Oliver McGowan training team. And I have a son and daughter. My daughter's 21 and my son is 19, and they're both autistic.
And I'm Leah. I also work for Autism Bedfordshire and I am autistic.
And I'm Annette, and I also work for Autism Bedfordshire. I have an 8-year-old beautiful son who is autistic, has ADHD and a learning disability.
So I should also add on that I also have an autistic son, my youngest, who is now in his 20s, who is autistic, epileptic, has distressed behaviour, has learning disability, brain damage, lovely plethora of labels, and is beautiful and really funny along with it. So, shall we get cracking?
Yeah.
So, I'm going to ask Leah lastly. I'm going to ask the parents first. Can you remember your first ever Christmas and what it was like? It might have been before your child was diagnosed, but where Christmas Day just didn't go as you were expecting it to.
Yes. So as babies, it's pretty easy, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
They just roll around, they don't care. But I think for us personally, it was really noticeable around the age I'm thinking 4, and we had the main issue was my parents and the wider family, their expectations of a family Christmas, and the fact that we didn't fit into those expectations. I don't know if anybody can relate. And also for us, we felt a lot of pressure because we wanted it to be the norm and we didn't know what to do. So we had lots of problems that I can really remember that Christmas, actually. I don't know what year it was because I couldn't bother to work that out right now, but he was around about the age of 4, and it was everything down to leaving the dinner table, using his fingers to eat food, all sorts, and we kind of had to deal with him, but also felt the pressure to make it work for the family, which wasn't fair on him. So he couldn't cope. We were trying to make him do something that he didn't want to do. And after that, we kind of changed our Christmases going forwards, and we kind of spoke to all of our family and just said, this isn't our normal. You need to deal with it, basically. It's not gonna change. And they are great now, but that was horrendous. There's lots of crying from everybody, and I think it doesn't help, does it, when you're drinking alcohol on Christmas Day? Emotions are even bigger, so there may have been a bit of shouting as well from me, family members.
Oh, bless you.
But yeah, so I would say around 4 years old was when we really hit rock bottom with Christmas.
I think the trouble is that it's not just like our families, it's every family. There's this traditional view of what Christmas should be, and the things that should be done, and everyone should be having a great time. And it's that expectation on everyone is just so huge, and it's bound to go wrong in those circumstances. And like you say, it's all of the worst components of our everyday life suddenly thrust upon us. So like you say, meal times obviously is a huge thing, because there are smells, there's noise, there's cutlery scraping on plates, people leaning over each other, paper crackers, putting the paper hats on. I mean, I've got one family who expect everyone to, wear your hats, which is like the worst sensory thing ever.
I know.
I don't even like wearing a paper hat. So it's really intense. But I'm really impressed that you had you were proactive and you had that conversation, because I don't remember having that conversation.
It took me a while. I'll be honest, I think that Christmas I kind of blew up, and I think it was a mixture of emotions. There was obviously part of me felt guilty, and I don't know if anyone else has experienced this before, but I felt guilty that I wasn't the same as the rest of the family. I wasn't, my sister's family were, 2.4 perfect family, kids were perfect. And I think it was eating me up that Christmas, because I felt like everyone was judging us as parents. And to be honest with you, I still get that guilt. And it was guilt for my daughters too, because I wanted them to have the normal Christmas, whatever that might look like. So it was huge, but it did take time. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I sat down calmly with my family and said, right, this is the problem, and if you can all just be considerate. And it took a while to do that, and there was a lot of anger, and I wasn't sure how my family were going to take the conversation. So but having said that, they're amazing now, and they know. And they're really accepting, so which they should be, let's be honest.
But I think also when you're talking about that first Christmas, as a parent, you're also coming to terms with the fact that your child is different to what you were expecting. And so there's all your own things of like, well, we want this to be how it has been in the past. And you're trying to appease all the family members at the same time, and the siblings of like, well, come on, we're going to eat here, and now we're going to do this. And suddenly the autistic child is missing. Because they're up in the bedroom. I remember my mum lived in the northeast, so she didn't see our son as often as other relatives that lived near us. So she never really understood how he was different to other children. And so that the first Christmas, he was a very lively little boy with a really cheeky smile. And when it was present time, we were like, come on, open a present. And he couldn't go, hee, and throw the present in the air and run out the room. and it was funny. And which meant it took a lot longer to sort the presents out, but he really wasn't interested in presents whatsoever. And my poor mum had put some thought into this present for him, and she was trying to give him this present, and he was just like, hee, out the room again. And she just couldn't get her head around it. Like, well, why don't you have him in here? Why don't you make him stay in the room? And it's like, well, we can't. No. And why should we? But as the years went on, he actually got into where he loved opening presents. But he had no interest in the presents. It was just, he loved opening the presents and throwing the paper around, and then playing with all the paper, and the presents were just left in one place. But I think it's more difficult as well when the grandparents aren't used to seeing the grandchildren as often.
And sometimes that might be the only time that those family members get together. The thing about Christmas is it only happens once a year. When we're talking about play dates with other friends, and we're talking about, obviously birthdays happen once a year as well, but when you're talking about other, going around your relatives for a Sunday dinner or something, they happen more frequently. So you're more likely to notice things, take note, think, right, that didn't work this time. We'll make sure that doesn't happen next time, and you contingency plan. But with Christmas, you kind of like, when it's over and all the wrapping's been put away and the decorations are down, you're like, well, that's done for a year, and you kind of like forget about it. And then when you start thinking about it again, you can look through rose-tinted glasses.
I said this.
Yeah. So I think it's difficult. So when you're asked, what about Christmas? Well, obviously for me, there is no before and after with the autism, because the kids were always autistic.
Yeah.
So I think it has to be before and after each Christmas, when you suddenly think, right, okay, so that didn't work this time, that didn't work this time, and it's changing, it evolves. So whereas obviously my children are older now, we've worked out, like, we've developed that there has to be some time. So if we're in a place, if we're over a relative's, then I say, you have to understand that my daughter's going to want to put her headphones on. Quite often she'll find a blanket, a cosy blanket, cuddle up in the blanket and fall asleep. Whereas my son, he kind of like, he's kind of unique. They're very yin and yang, my two. But he will kind of like keep going and going and going and going and going, and then he'll burn out later. So he kind of like gets, I remember, what was he doing one year? One year he got one of the paper hats, and he was doing some kind of rave anthem. He'd go like this through because it made a funny noise. God, he's going to kill me if he sees this. And it makes a funny noise through the paper hat. Like when you do the paper over a comb. Yeah, he was doing that. He did that for ages. We were all laughing. We thought it was hilarious. But I was like, where are you getting this energy from? And I know that it's because he was overwhelmed. He had just so much adrenaline coursing through him that he just needed to do this. And we've actually got it on video. But so whereas while he was doing that, my daughter was probably cuddled up in a blanket somewhere and completely zoned out. And the family know that now. They accept that, which is absolutely fine.
Do you know what I find difficult? I don't, and it's probably because my son's that bit younger. Things change each year. So what felt like it worked one year and he coped really well, I'm finding, there were a couple of things last year that he didn't seem to cope well with. And so I'm always like, I just feel like we're all over the place because there doesn't seem to be any consistency at the moment. And I don't know if that comes with time as they get older. I'm not sure. And
I think it
they're
does.
getting older, they're changing anyway, aren't they?
Yeah.
Shall we go over and ask Leah?
Yeah.
I don't remember my first Christmas.
Really?
Why not?
It's all like, when you're young, it all just like merges in with each other. But I think obviously when you're a kid, you've got like it's more the magic of Christmas that's like put into your brain around like Santa, elves, presents, that kind of vibe. And it's really built up for a good month at least. Especially at school and stuff, like you do loads of Christmas stuff and you talk about Santa would come in, and it's just like there's so much expectation to have a nice time and a good day because it's built up so much to be this like magical thing. So then when it actually gets to the day, you're like, oh, that it feels a bit underwhelming.
Yeah.
But then it also is overwhelming with just because of everything that's going on. So it's like the magic has gone down. So that's how I felt like underwhelmed, because I was like, this isn't how I'm supposed to be feeling. I'm supposed to be feeling, oh, this is great, wonderful, like I'm gonna have the best day. But then it comes to the day and I don't feel like that. So then I kind of feel a bit guilty in a sense of why aren't I enjoying it the way that it's meant to be enjoyed as well. And especially like, so we used to do on Christmas Eve, we would all go to like my grandparents, and that'd be everyone in the family. And I remember like I would always just have to like take myself off or like go upstairs into their room and just let everyone downstairs get on with things, and then I could actually have time to myself. But then I also felt bad like for my mum and like my family, because I would want to leave early, whereas they would want to stay because they want to like spend time with family. And it's like, it's not that I didn't want to spend time with family, but I just, it all got too much. So I would want to leave earlier. And then I'd feel bad for wanting to leave, because it meant, like, obviously when I was younger, I wouldn't be able to be at home by myself, so someone would have to take me home and be with me, so then they would miss out as well. So then I'd have that on Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day would come, and then again you're still spending it with family. There's a lot of family time. And you'd wake up like really early, and then the mornings were probably the best part, because me and my sister, we used to share a room and we would have our stockings. So we would wake up at like 6, half 6, and we would go through our stockings trying to like guess what our presents were, and our mum wouldn't let us in her room until it hit 7. So we were like counting down till it was like 7 o'clock, and as soon as it reached 7, we'd go into my mum's room, and me, my sister, my brother would like go through our stockings. And I'd say that was like the best part of the day, because the presents weren't, they were just like stocking fillers, so they were just small things. It wasn't like you had to be really like overly appreciative about it. And again, when I open presents, I open it and just put it to the side. Like, I forget that like people are watching me and looking at how I'm reacting, and I don't react. So it's like, now I've kind of learned like I need to use my words, or try to use my words a bit more, because my facial expressions are not gonna make it come across. But yeah, so we'd do that, and then we'd have a bit of chill time, which was good between then, because then my mum would be just cooking, and then it would be like 12 where everyone else would start coming up. And then I was like, I hate the dinner part. Even now, like if we have like a Sunday roast, I hate it, because it's just like everyone's there, everyone's like passing things around. I feel really awkward to like ask, oh, can you pass this, can you pass that? Like, I just want to get on with it.
So would you feel better if you just had a food or plate given to you?
Yeah. And then you've also got like the noise of people eating next to you. And you know what's like, I've discovered that men are the worst for it. Sorry, Matthias. But like when we're having dinner together, so my brother, and then like now I'm jumping to now, my sister's boyfriend, they just eat like they haven't eaten their whole lives. And they're just like, they've got this massive plate and they're just scoffing it up, and they're making so many unnecessary noises.
It's the worst noise ever.
It is. And I'm like, how is this possible? And they're done in about a minute, and I'm there on my first piece of chicken and they're all done. But yeah, they make so many noises, and I can't deal with it. So that stresses me out. So if you've got that plus like everyone on a table, like with their cutlery on the plate, and then they're eating, and it's just like you can hear every single one, and then also people trying to have a conversation as well at the same time. I like to not talk when I eat. I just get in my zone, but everyone's having a conversation. Everyone, like, you can hear everyone eating, you can hear their noises, and it's not a fun experience really.
And I'm guessing from the sensory side of things, where you're saying like you can hear all that stuff, from the moment your front doorbell goes and the family are coming, the crescendo of noise has suddenly gone up.
Yes.
Huge. Yeah. And then that doesn't abate, does it? It doesn't go away until they go home at the end of the day.
That's what I mean. Like, that's why I liked the mornings, because it was just me, my sister, brother and mum. I could deal with that because I'm used to living with them and that amount. And then it's just when everyone else starts turning up. Yeah. And it's like,
and they're super excited as well, aren't
they? Yeah. And it's like, oh, Merry Christmas, Happy Christmas, here's some presents. And it's just, I would find it really overwhelming. And then obviously what we would do is we'd have dinner and then we'd have a bit of like a break, but we'd still be together. So for me, it wasn't a break, but then we'd start going into like board games and Christmas games. And it's like
forced Christmas fun.
Yes,
You will have fun.
I think we got to a point with our son where he eats his breakfast on his own, and my daughter, after she'd moved out and came back, we had to have this like posh breakfast. So we got to the point where he didn't have to take part in that. He just had his breakfast when he was ready. He had the morning to himself, really, until we started opening presents. And then he only had to come in when he wanted to open his presents, and then he could disappear. He didn't need to stay with us. He didn't want to. He wasn't interested. Why make him do that? And then if we left him and he had to come back when we were eating, he would come in and out because he wasn't being forced to. And you could see where he was enjoying being with people and then disappearing to get away from everybody.
Yeah.
And with after dinner, and it's then clearing up and everything, and then we start doing like the game bit. We'd make him do one with us just so that he was part of us, because he isn't somebody who would naturally come and do that, but actually enjoyed it once you got him in there. So we found some games that he could do that was quite basic for him to take part in. And after he'd done one game, he could go away again. And just so he was part of it. And it actually became a lot more enjoyable by doing that. Now we have our family Christmas Day on Boxing Day. And it is so peaceful because he comes when he comes and we do what we do, and there is no pressure because it's not Christmas Day anymore. So you haven't got that, what you were talking about with the Christmas Day, everything's got to be great and perfect. Boxing Day, you can do it whenever you want.
Yeah.
And and we still have family there, and it's a lot more relaxed.
Yeah.
But that's taken a long time to get there. It isn't overnight. And family members don't come along on that journey with you in the same pace.
No.
Yeah.
It is educating, isn't it? Constantly.
Yeah. And I think, again, going back to the sensory, it's getting family to understand about the sensory overload stuff of how loud and everything is. And you were saying about having alcohol.
Yeah.
When people start drinking, their voices tend to get louder, don't they?
They do.
Honestly, why are they shouting at each other? They're literally sat next to each other.
What I hate is, so sometimes when we go to my grandparents, it's everyone, and it's like you'll be sat round a dinner table and someone will say something and everyone laugh, and I'm sat there like, that just wasn't funny though. Like your laughing is so unnecessary, and they just laugh really loud and like obnoxiously, and I'm like, that just wasn't funny. Can you just stop trying to like make jokes? And it's just because I hate the loud noise, and then I just feel really awkward because everyone else is laughing but I'm not finding it funny.
Or do you think they're just being polite and doing a really over-exaggerated laugh and they're not really finding it funny?
Yeah.
You're just being honest.
It's just so unneeded. Like when you've got all the other sensory things going on, and then you've got people laughing really loudly and talking really loudly, it's not needed.
You know what? I'm going to take that away from this, because my kids are constantly telling me off. My daughter messaging me the other day from upstairs saying, can you please shut up? Because I was watching something on TV and I was laughing, and apparently it was making her jump out of her bed. And my son was saying the other day, I can't remember what I was laughing at, but I was laughing at something on the television, and he was in the dining room and he actually shouted at me, "Can you shut up?" So, I think I've just got this explosive laughter that literally makes people jump. So, do you know what? I'm gonna take that away from this. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna have to try and tone it down a bit.
From like a children's perspective, it's not personal to you.
No, I think I did take it personally initially, but
it's not, because my mum, she makes noises, she sneezes, and she snores. Sorry. But I'm sat there and I just feel enraged, And I'm just like, can you just shut up? And I can just feel it in my body. But it's like, it's not actually personal towards her. It's just the noises that are coming out of her. Like, because she sneezes really like aggressively and loudly. And I'm just like, I actually, like, and it's like one after the other. It's not just one, it's like 5 in a row. And it's like, achoo. And it just gets progressively more and more, and I'm like, can you shut up? I actually can't deal with it. But yeah, like, it's not actually personal. So like, don't take it.
No, I won't. But that's really useful actually to know. Yeah. And going back to we were talking about sitting around at the dinner table and everything, I just suddenly realised we don't even sit at the table normally.
No, we had this conversation, didn't we?
At the table normally. So why that pressure in itself?
It's another expectation, though, isn't it? All the family around you will have your big Christmas dinner around the table all together. But we were talking about we all sit separately because everyone just gets annoyed with each other.
And we don't usually have a load of food in the middle of the table loads of food.
No,
it's normally like. Yeah, you have one choice, aren't you? That's the meal. Instead of all these different plates.
Just because we're trying to conform to this Victorian ideal of Christmas, isn't it?
I mean, we have changed things a lot at Christmas, so people still find it really funny that my son will sit there with a plate of chicken nuggets, peas, which he will just play with, and squeeze open so the little bits in the middle will just pop out, and a roast potato, a Yorkshire pudding. And I think that's it. That's what we've managed. Yeah. And people still find it really funny and really odd. But actually, they are getting more used to it. But yeah.
The other thing that we have is that my son, when he's finished eating, he'll like, right, I'm done.
Yeah.
And he'll get up.
Yeah.
And he does that. He does that in restaurants as well. So again, that's something that we've kind of like had to. I mean, obviously, our small family, you know, we're used to that, and I encourage it because I'd rather that he just managed to sitting still for that length of time is, you know, draining. So he just needs to get rid of his energy elsewhere. But yeah, so at Christmas we kind of like. Recommend that he gets up and walks about.
We used to have to ask for permission to leave the table.
I did growing up.
Yeah, I did.
So I've come from that family where you had to mind your P's and Q's and you had to
elbows off the table,
and ask
knife
permission
and fork.
to leave the table.
I can remember when my son was little and we were trying to get him to talk. Like, I've got 2 older children, and it was always like, if you want something, you ask, you know, please may I have? And so when he was teaching him, please may I have? And then I went, oh, please say I want. Just anything, just so that you actually say some words for what you're after. Because I always used to think I want, it sounded really cheeky.
But
it's
not really.
You sort of change. I'm thinking of something, Leah, that you said, like pre-Christmas, it's the build-up to Christmas. And so you've got, you know, where Father Christmas visits playgroups and all these things, and this great big man in this big red coat and big hair. And I can remember my son just sitting and just screaming. And it's like, why would children naturally be, unless... You know, why would they think that this figure is something that they should like? And it's a stranger, and you go up to the stranger to get a present off them.
The rest of the year it's stranger danger. I know.
And yet we are expecting our autistic children to just take it all on board.
It's actually quite wrong.
All the rules just go out of the window, don't they?
I mean, what is this about?
Honestly. But I remember my son at school, he went to an autism unit. And they, in the lead up to Christmas, they said, right, literally curriculum's gone. We're just literally going to just go with the flow, see what the kids want to do each day, because this is the most stressful time. There's no way they can stick to a curriculum at this time of year. So they tried to do kind of like more sort of sensory time, and playing Uno was a big thing. And, you know, getting them to go outside and do walks and things.
I find that interesting because sometimes, like the last 2 to 3 weeks of term, the structure changes in the school to becoming this Christmas structure of whatever this Christmas stuff is that the school are doing. So the structure then disappears for the autistic children who like that structure.
It is actually,
so I find it strange that
weird,
an autism unit is doing something that takes that structure away.
Yeah.
That the child is used to.
It just worked for them.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just that year group, because it can change, can't it, with year groups? But they just gave up on the curriculum.
Yeah.
But they also didn't make it Christmassy per se.
Yeah, yeah.
So but like you've been saying, there's this lead up to it, and then when it actually happens, it's like all of your energy's been spent thinking and expectation, and then like you say, it's kind of a bit of a damp squib.
Yeah, I can see that. I can
happens.
really see that. Do you know, our build up to Christmas is actually I think the hardest part from my son's point of view, and he becomes completely fixated on this day that's coming up. And we have to even get a calendar up to show him when Christmas Day is. And he will ask multiple times every single day. And I imagine it's going to start probably mid-November. Yeah. He'll just ask constantly, when Christmas Day, when's Christmas Day, when's Christmas Day? And by the time it gets here, we are literally rocking in a corner.
Yeah.
Because we've had enough of Christmas.
And do you know why he's asking? Have you figured that one out?
Well, it's the same with anything, though. Even with Daddy going to work. When's Daddy going to work? When's he coming back? He has to know. But even when you tell him and explain to him, he still asks. And it just becomes huge for him and really overwhelming. I mean, he's at a special school, so they're great. And they do play it down quite a bit, I think. And it's not a curriculum that they adhere to, so things are just the same, and they know how that he does the same at school. He'll ask them every day, every minute of the day, when's Christmas, so they're used to that, and they try to help that with visuals and calendars. But by the time Christmas Day gets here, I can see your point now. It's almost like he's like, well, what was that all about?
Yeah. It's really built up.
Yeah. It's huge, isn't it? And really overwhelming. And then he'll just literally rip open presents because he loves opening presents, and they're just scattered everywhere. And he might choose one that he loves to play with. And you're looking and you're like, I spent all this money on all these toys. And he won't pick any of them up. I don't know. And that's something I am learning.
Yeah.
Don't buy loads of expensive presents because they won't get used.
I've told Annette this before that somebody I was working with when my son was about 7 or 8 years old, she wanted to buy him something for Christmas. And I said, he doesn't need anything because he is somebody who has never had lots of toys. He doesn't play with lots of things. And she said, I want to get him something. Can I give you £10 to buy something for him? And I said, look, how about there's a toy shop up the road that sells spinners, the 50p each. How about you buy him a spinner because he loves spinners? She said, well, I need to spend more than 50p. And I'm going, seriously, he will enjoy that 50p present a lot more than if you go and spend £10 on something. He will love it and he will play with it. And it is that expectation. And where even now, it's really difficult to buy him things for Christmas and for his birthday, which is in January, so it's straight follows on. Because he doesn't play with that many things. And it's like, well, but he's happy with the things. So I will often buy maybe like a pack of 4 Mars bars and wrap each one individually because he's opening 4 presents up. He's happy with that. He did go through a phase of eating all 4 Mars bars straight off each other. He doesn't do that anymore. But it's knowing what suits the child, isn't it? And child as an adult, still my child, that makes it happy for them, not what expectations of society think that you should be buying these huge things, but just buy the stuff that they're going to enjoy, even if it's an empty cardboard box. That they like playing with the box rather than what's inside it.
I think I'm still learning. I mean, I know he's 8, but I still, with the inconsistencies each year, I'm still learning how to deal with it all.
I'm still learning. And I've got
Yeah.
a 19 and a 21-year-old. Honestly,
Yeah.
I say they're
always-
teaching me all the
Yeah.
time.
You always
Yeah.
still be
Yeah.
learning.
Yeah.
And I'm totally guilty of, and I admit this, of trying to conform to traditions
Yeah.
and being the same as everybody else. And I keep telling myself, just stop it, Annette.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with, not doing things the same as everybody else. And I tell you what, that is something I am getting better at since turning 40. I'm definitely in that era of not caring as much about what people think.
Wait till you get to nearly 50. You really don't give
We're
us
not going
on
there. Right, here's a question for you, because I think maybe we should start to wrap it up. Knowing what you know now, if you could say something to yourself as that parent of the young person, and Leah, if you could say it to yourself going back in time, what would be the thing that you would say to yourself to help you and help the parents, the autistic child, and Leah for yourself?
I think for me, it would be don't put too much pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I say that I'm still learning, but don't put too much pressure on yourself, and stop feeling guilty. Yeah.
I'd say the same from my perspective, because you put pressure on yourself to have a good day, especially because it's built up, and then you feel guilty when you're the one who's kind of making it not as expected. So it's just letting go of that and being like, we don't have to have it like everyone else. I know what I need, and that's okay. And it's just learning, really. And yeah, I'd say taking time for myself and allowing myself to, have space when I need it. And I don't have to spend every hour with people, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd echo that. And don't compare yourself to others.
Yeah.
It's a
And
good
I'm thinking,
one.
just back to you, Leah, sort of speaking as a parent, having seen the effects that you felt, but having seen the effects on a person and how we try and change things to sort of help those things. I'm really sorry that it takes us longer to get there. But I think a lot of parents do try to get there, where it's like, actually, we need to listen to, we're seeing what is happening. We might not be understanding what the cause is there. And actually, if we do it like this is going to be better all round. And I think that works with lots of other things in life, holidays and lots of things. But I think Christmas, everybody's Christmas is different, isn't it? And why not just make it your own Christmas that works, so you all enjoy it?
Yeah, start your own traditions.
Yeah, exactly.
And that next year, those traditions might be completely different. So next year's traditions,
And then finally, hands up, parents. Hands up if you haven't cried on Christmas Day when you were first doing it, when everything was going wrong, or afterwards where you're thinking, oh, my child is really suffering. How many didn't have tears at some point or another? I think everybody gets emotional about it, don't they? And because you feel as if you're failing somebody.
Yeah.
disappearing to the toilet to have a bit of a cry.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's
Getting a bit
interesting,
angry.
actually, because I think we all feel the same, but for different reasons.
Yeah.
So, like when you were saying you feel guilty and stuff, and it's like I feel guilty as well, but just from a different perspective.
Yeah.
So it's probably not just you feeling that as well, because your son might be noticing, oh, I'm not acting how others are acting.
Yeah.
And I don't know what he thinks, but I definitely thought, oh, I'm like bringing the mood down.
Oh, bless you.
I know.
Well, let's hope we all have our lovely individual Christmases this year.
Yeah.
When it comes.
When
weeks
it
to come.
comes.
Yeah. Well, thank you all.
Basically, moral
you.
of the story, just be yourself
Yeah.
and allow yourself time and you'll work through it together as a family.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We hope you've enjoyed all our chitter chatter, and we do hope that you do find your own way of dealing with this difficult season that everybody else thinks is really great and happy. And have a good one.